What's going on? Once again, this is your host, WaleAde, and we're on the podcast Religion and Politics, where we talk about the tough issues and we attack them head on. And I just wanted to go over the topic for today where we're talking about the church and social action. See, one of the things that I've seen over the years is that there's been a transition in, I guess, the reliability of the church when it comes to speaking out on social issues. See, one of the things that bothered me is that, when things happen in our communities, whether, it's unarmed black men being shot or some of the unfair legislation that happens that keeps our communities in food deserts and seeing that people of color are hindered when it comes to things like predatory lenders or receiving the same fair interest rates on home loans and different things like car loans as their white counterparts. Things that keep our communities in poverty, things that keep our community criminalized, things that keep our community oppressed. The black churches back in the civil rights movement were at the forefront of these issues. But one of the things that I've seen over the years is now it seems like the church has become just a tad bit more aloof and a tad bit more detached from the issues that are happening to people. As a matter of fact, if you ask me, a lot of times I feel like the church, and when I say church, I'm not talking about a particular denomination, I'm not talking about a particular actual church, but I'm just saying us as church folks, sometimes it just seems like we're more interested in how much money we can bring into the organization than actually what good we can do for the community. And one of the things that I just want to encourage us today is to make sure that we understand fully that we have a higher spiritual calling, yes. And so some people, because of this higher spiritual calling, think that everything that happens on earth does not matter because guess what? Jesus is coming again. Right. But the thing is, Jesus is definitely coming again. But at the same time, he wants us to do the work while we're here. And one of the things that happens is, I know, at least in my denomination, we preach the health message, right? It's a great message because it's actually helped me lose 50 pounds. If you've seen me 12 months ago, I got before and after pictures. Just implementing the things in the health message has helped me to live a lot healthier life. I'm feeling more energetic. Can't you tell on this podcast? And so anyway, that's the thing that is really helping me to get better in my health. But one of the things that I thought about is like, how cruel is it to preach a health message to people who don't have access to healthy food because they live in a food desert? Or people that don't have access to healthy food because of food insecurity. And so we say, oh yeah, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, make sure you get, clean air, and make sure you get sunlight and different things. But people that live in the inner cities, people that live in high impoverished areas, don't have access to these things. And why don't they have access to these things? Because of legislation and us not getting on our civic leaders enough to make sure that these places have equal access to opportunities. And what better way to show the love of Christ? What better way to show the mercy of Christ? What better way to show the advocacy of Christ than to actually get on the ground? Go to your local legislator, go to your local civic institution and demand that these inequalities in our communities change. Because of what I'm tired of us just preaching a message of hope. I'm tired of us just giving people a treat dangling on a stick. But then when it comes time to actually doing the work to help prayerfully move this legislation and move this society into a place that actually frees and actually helps a lot of people, the church seems to be absent. And I'm not talking about all churches because I know there are definitely some great churches that are out there doing some great work. Great work in our communities, great work in passing legislation and understanding that you can have your civic organization, but you're still run by governmental policies. And if governmental policies don't give you the access and the resources to do some of the things that you need to do for your communities, then you're even at a greater disadvantage and that you're stuck under this ceiling until those policies change. And so what I'm calling for us today as a church leaders, as church members, as church people of God, is that we stop talking the talk and we start walking the walk. See, faith is without works is dead. It's about time that we got to work. See, we've been sleeping. We've been getting lazy. See, we've been getting fat. We've been sitting amongst ourselves and doing good and feeling good and making church about being a social club and making church being about an exclusive club. But instead of doing the actual work of helping those that are in need, the actual work of extending our hand and our resources and our time and our efforts to those who need it, we've been sitting back and getting fat and being full on the grace that God's giving us and not sharing it with our fellow man. And so I'm tired of us just talking the talk and not really getting down to the real issues, getting down to the things that really matter, that are affecting our community, so that we can make life a little bit better for them here on earth while we're giving them hope for the life to come. So once again, this is WaleAde. I want to hear your thoughts on this. I want to know, are you thinking the same thing? Are you tired of church just talking and not really being active in our communities? Are you tired of church doing one thing but actually saying one thing and then doing something else? I want to hear your comments in the comments below so we can continue this dialogue, because I want to push my fellow brothers, my fellow sisters, my fellow pastors, my fellow spiritual leaders to get active in our communities. Once again, this is Religion and Politics. I'm your host, WaleAde, and we will see you soon. Have a great one.
No justice, no peace, no justice, no